Welcome to German History with a German accent. My name is Wolf, W-O-L-F, just like the animal, and in today's video I want to speak about the year 1923, which was a year filled with crisis for the Weimar Republic. The year 1923 was one of the toughest years for the young Weimar Republic in its short existence, and the young German Republic almost did not make it through it. In this video, I'm explaining which crisis occurred in said year. As you know, I always appreciate hits on the like and subscribe button, as well as your comments below the videos. But now let's get started. The first crisis of the year occurred right in January, when troops from France and Belgium occupied the Ruhr region. The soldiers were sent into German territory because the German Reich fell behind on its reparation payments it was obligated to make after World War I. Since the year 1922, the World War I victory nations wanted to receive their reparations mainly in the form of goods instead of money, due to the high inflation and the unstable German economy. By the end of December 1922, the Allied Reparation Commission officially declared that Germany was behind on its payment, and after the Commission also stated that the Weimar Republic purposely held back goods like coals, wood, and steel. On January 11, 1923, French and Belgian troops marched in the Ruhr region. The United Kingdom distanced itself from this move. The German government reacted by declaring a passive resistance, calling for a general strike. Workers in the occupied territory were not to follow any orders of the occupants who tried to extract their reparation payments themselves. During the time, the German government continued to pay the salaries of the workers participating in the general strike. About 2.5 million workers were paid from January until September 1923. In order to pay these workers, the government printed even more money, which skyrocketed the already high inflation. Money became so worthless in the Weimar Republic that people literally brought wheelbarrows of banknotes. And these banknotes did not say 10, 20, or 100 mark on it, but instead millions or billions. And these amounts of banknotes were necessary just to purchase a single loaf of bread. When I first learned about this in school, I was in such disbelief. I even asked my great-grandmother. She was born in 1914, but she verified it. This ultimately led to the circumstance that people purchased items by exchanging goods instead of using banknotes that were no longer worth the paper they were printed on. This hyperinflation was brought to an end when the government introduced a new currency, the Rentenmark, in November 1923. By this time, the exchange rate of $1 was equivalent to 4.2 trillion Papiermark. The occupation of the Ruhr region came to an end in the year 1925 after the Deuce Plan that re-evaluated the German reparation payments in accordance to its economic strength came into effect, by the way. During the year 1923, the Weimar Republic also faced several coups d'etats. For example, while under French and Belgian occupation, the Rhenish Republic tried to form a republic in the Rhineland under French protectorate. These separatists received support from France, and since the Rhineland was declared a demilitarized zone in the Treaty of Versailles, the Reichswehr, the German military during the Weimar Republic, was not allowed to march in and fight down these separatists. But with fading French support, these separatists ceased their actions by the end of the year. After the general strike was ended in September 1923, Bavaria's prime minister declared martial law and Gustav von Kahr was appointed state commissioner with dictatorial powers. In this case, the Reichswehr was allowed to interfere in this act of disobedience against the Weimar Republic, but since a high-ranking Reichswehr officer, Otto von Lossow, was involved, the military chose not to act, since Reichswehr troops didn't fire on Reichswehr troops. On November 8, 1923, Gustav von Kahr held a speech in the Bürgerbräukeller in Munich when Adolf Hitler stormed the event and declared the national revolution has begun and forced von Kahr's government to support a march onto Berlin, similar like Benito Mussolini's march onto Rome. Von Kahr pretended to support the National Socialist coup, but had used the Bavarian police in the following day to stop the coup. The Weimar Republic also faced a communist threat in Saxony as well as in Thuringia, where they planned an uprising against the troubled Weimar Republic. Plans for these uprisings came straight from Moscow. The planners compared the situation to the Russian situation in the year 1917. In this case, the Reichswehr marched in to seize power from the local communist and social democratic government coalition. It is to mention that these coalitions were based on free democratic votes. These were the most important crises of the year 1923. Crises that almost ended the existence of the young German Republic. Which crisis do you believe was the worst to overcome for the Weimar Republic in that year? Please write it in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.